Hello guys, I am Dr. Devendra Mishra, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Bidla Institute of Applied Sciences, right? Also running this Tetrahedron Chemistry Classes channel, and here are the links available to approach me. Hello friends, welcome back to the Tetrahedron Chemistry Classes. So guys, this is my first video on organometallic compounds after your June 2020 CSIR NET examination. However, I have uploaded the review of your June 2020 paper, and I also tried to solve some of the questions, memory based questions actually, right? But the problem with that video is that I was using the electronic device for the first time, and the quality of the video is not very good. Okay, so sorry for that. That's why I switched to my traditional mode, that is pen and paper mode, to explain the things actually, right? And in today's class I am going to explain beta hydrogen elimination reactions, as I was teaching the say specific reactions of your transition metal complexes. Okay, so in today's class I'm going to discuss this important reaction. Okay, so if you see the important, if you see the reaction, what happens in that case. So these beta hydrogen elimination reaction, first of all you should know a very important point: the carbon and hydrogen bond. See, this bond is quite polar bond because there is a polarity difference between carbon and hydrogen. So there is no need to put the exact value of the electronegativity of hydrogen and carbon over there, but you should know this bond is polar, and the hydrogen present in the beta carbon, right? The hydrogen that would be present in the beta carbon, right, would be termed as the beta hydrogen, and that beta hydrogen can be eliminated as hydride, H negative ion. So some people also call this reaction as beta hydride elimination. So it will not make any difference whether you call it as a beta hydrogen elimination reaction or beta hydride elimination reactions. And since in the last lecture of organometallic reactions I have actually explained the concept of the 1,2 migratory insertion reactions, that is your alkene insertion, right? So these beta hydrogen elimination or beta hydride eliminations, they are the reverse reactions of alkene insertion. 1,2 migratory insertion reactions, right, which are alkene reactions. Okay, alkene insertion reaction, this is something very important to note that, right? And how you can write the reaction, it's quite simple. Say for example, I am having this complex, number of ligands L, right? And then you are having, say, this metal, and this is the alkyl group which is present over there. So in that case you can very easily observe this carbon which is directly linked with the metal would be termed as the alpha carbon, and that carbon which is present next to the alpha carbon would be your beta carbon, right? And if you do the reaction with this one, if you want to do beta hydrogen elimination or beta hydride elimination, so for this I'll write beta He, right? This is my abbreviation for this beta hydrogen elimination reaction. So what product you can expect here? The hydrogen, you know, this is CH2, this is CH3. So there would be 3 hydrogens are there, and these 3 hydrogens are the beta hydrogens, and one of the hydrogen would migrate to this particular metal, and it will lead to the formation of the alkene as the byproduct or alkene complex, right? See, so far it is your transition metal sigma alkyl complex, right? So this complex right now is what? Sigma alkyl transition metal complexes. When the hydrogen actually will move over there, we will see in the mechanism how it can move, right? Then it will result to the product, and that product would be what? Number of the ligands which were already there with the metal, and this is the metal which gets the hydrogen, beta hydrogen, and after that you see this alpha carbon and beta carbon when loses one hydride, that means it is electron deficient now. So to actually satisfy all the four valencies of the carbon, we will have to make the double bond around these two carbon atom, and the metal will link with both the carbon atom present in the alkyl group, so the hepaticity also changes. So this is the metal alkene complex, right? This is transition metal alkene complex, right? So this is your beta hydride elimination reaction. And see, if you do the reverse reaction, that is 1,2 migratory insertion reaction. So what will happen? This alkyl part will be inserted between this metal and hydrogen bond, and you know this would become now this particular compound. So this is how you can have idea about your uh, beta hydride elimination reaction. So very quickly we will see a simple example which will explain the various terms involved, various features involved in the beta hydrogen elimination reaction. For example, say you are having, this is your cyclopentadienyl anion, that is eta 5. It is connected with all the carbon. This is eta 5, and in the center you are having the rhodium, and then you are having PME3, right? And then you are having CH2, and then another CH3 you are having. So I am writing your CH3 in this mode, CH2 plus this hydrogen, right? And what I am going to explain here in that case, guys, this is something very, very important. In that case, you can see this metal rhodium and this hydrogen, they are actually having the cis relationship, because the side, see, the orientation of hydrogen as well as the metal is same. This is known as the cis orientation or the syn orientation, and it is very important to note that whenever you want to do this beta hydrogen elimination reaction, this cis coplanarity, that means these two metals must be cis as well as in the same plane, right? Only then your beta hydrogen elimination would occur. So this relationship is very, very important, right? Because the key for the beta hydrogen elimination reaction is the agostic interaction, and agostic interactions are only possible when this metal and beta hydrogen having the cis relationship. So what happens here? You see this rhodium and hydrogen undergoes the agostic interaction. So when I draw this kind of the structure to show the bonding, this means the agostic interaction, right? So agostic interaction is what actually it involves the three centers. See, center number 1 is your rhodium, center number 2 is your hydrogen, and center number 3 is your carbon. So it's a 3 center, and you know in the bonding only this electron pair is involved, right? So 3 centered 2 electron bond, it is there, right? And this interaction is very, very important, right? And if you do the reaction, so what will happen? See, generally these reactions are initiated by supplying the heat, right? So in that case, you will have your say the product. So rhodium would be just like that, okay? And this is your cyclopentadienyl, right, as ligand, and this is your PME3, no problem in that. And one of the hydrogen now will shift towards this rhodium, so you will have your hydrogen here, and this single bond would be converted into the double bond, right? That means CH2 would be here, CH2 would be here. All the valency of these two carbons are satisfied, so this rhodium cannot connect along with this one, so it will connect through the center. So this is your metal alkene complex, right? And in that case, you can see, if you clearly see the reaction, then you see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-membered cyclic transition state is forming here, right? So you can see, right, 4-membered cyclic transition state, it will form in this reaction. And what important observations, what important conclusions you can make from here, you can see here. See, in that case, this is say 16 electron complex, and this is your 18 electron complex, right? here you can see the rhodium is connected with this carbon only with respect to the carbon, so hepaticity is only 1 in that case, right? And here this rhodium is connected with the 2 carbons, so with respect to this group the hepaticity is 2. So when the alkene is directly connected in the product itself, so the hepaticity also changes from 1 to 2. And remember, electron count is also increasing from 16 to 18, but change in oxidation state would remain 0. So that means delta oxidation state would be 0. No change in the oxidation state of the metal. This is important, right? See, if it is having +1, so here it will also present in the +1. If it is +2, then it will always remain in the +2 oxidation state, right? And since the reactions are catalyzed, or since the reactions are initiated by the heat, so obviously there comes a very important point in our mind, that means heat is related to the thermal. So thermodynamic stability we can consider, right? So this compound actually, it is undergoing reaction with the help of this temperature, so it is thermodynamically unstable. It is thermodynamically unstable, right? And this will not undergo this kind of the reaction, so it is thermodynamically stable. So this is another very important question, because in your CSIR, NET, GATE, in IIT JAM examination, they also ask the question in this quoting this factor. See, they generally give 2 or 3 complexes and asked arrange them in the increasing order of thermodynamic stability, and which one is thermodynamically more stable, just like that. Okay, so this is important, this is very important to understand. So this is the basic idea about your this beta hydride elimination reaction. And see, after that you can see mechanism of the reaction. See, mechanism is always very important, and I generally believe that without understanding the mechanism of the reaction, it is useless to actually learn the reaction. So how we can draw the mechanism of these reactions, you can see. So I'm writing the mechanism here. Mechanism, okay. And for mechanism, say you are having this metal here, this is CH2, this is another CH2, and say this is R. Okay, I have written in that way. And obviously when you are doing the reaction, so this is your alpha carbon, so this is your beta carbon, and this beta carbon is having 2 hydrogens. So this is very important to understand. See, I am see, again and again I am quoting a very important point here, that means the presence of the beta hydrogen. So it is very important for a complex to have the beta hydrogen, so that it can undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. Okay, so if you are heating this, right, so what reaction will occur in that case? So I'm writing my metal as such, okay, and say this is my CH2, which is this one, and this is my CH2, which is this one, and this is my R. Okay, so what will happen actually, this metal and this carbon bond actually, right, they starting to break. And you know, in that case my CH2 is there, so what I can do, I can eliminate my CH2 from here, and I can put my hydrogen here, and this is again going to break, and metal and hydrogen bond will actually going to form. And of course the double bond, the bond actually which was there, it is also actually diminishing. So this is, you see, the cyclic transition state. Again you can see in that case this hydrogen, right, this metal and this carbon, they are involved, 3 centered 2 electron bond. Okay, so this compound, see, you see this metal, this CH2 was directly connected, so what you can do, you can put alpha over there and you can put beta over there. Alpha for this one, beta for this one, beta having the alkyl group. Okay, and since this hydrogen is removing as your hydride ion, so it is always good to put delta negative over there. Definitely this carbon would be delta positive. So this is your four-membered cyclic transition state, which in which actually the interaction occurs agostically. Agostic interactions are there, and after that you will see, you will have your product, and the product would be just like that. This is the metal, and this metal now will have the hydrogen over there, no problem, and you see the double bond will form between them. So what I can do, I can write carbon and carbon double bond here, and one hydrogen is there, I can put hydrogen here. One R is here, I can put R over there, okay, and one hydrogen is here and another hydrogen is here. And now you can see, you will connect this metal with the center of the double bond. That means the hepaticity changes. Here metal is connected with only one carbon, that is hepaticity is 1, and here metal is connected with the 2 carbon of the alkene part. So here with respect to this alkyl group, the hepaticity is 2. So this is the complex. If you continue the reaction, right, say for example, if the reaction continues to occur, what will happen? Your metal and hydrogen, so this is actually releasing, and CH2, which is this one, double bond CHR, this is the product. So again, this is very important. They CCS in the competitive examinations, they also ask the question in the form that out, say they will give you the 2 or 3 complexes, and they will ask you which complex will readily give the alkene as the byproduct. So when you are getting the alkene as the byproduct, so you have to proceed the reaction up to the formation of the alkene part as well as the metal hydrogen. So what important thing you are observing here in that case, guys, you can see this your alkyl part, this is actually what, non-reactive, or you can see this carbon or not this one, you can see here this alkyl part, or you can see the entire alkyl moiety. This entire alkyl moiety is actually non-reactive. You know the alkanes are non-reactive. So in that case, we are in this reaction, we are converting the alkane into alkene, and now this alkene would be somewhat more reactive than the your alkane part, right? So in that case, you can also see this reaction as the activation of the CH bond. Activation of the CH bond. So this is another very important aspect. You are converting a non-reactive species into a reactive species by this beta hydride elimination reaction. So this is very important, the mechanism part. Okay guys, now the another important aspect, and this aspect is very important to solve the reaction in your examinations. So the important features of this reaction. Characteristic features of beta hydride elimination reactions. So I'm not writing characteristics, but I'm writing salient features rather. Salient features of beta hydride elimination reaction. So when this beta hydrogen elimination reaction would occur, when it will not occur, this we will answer here in that case. So first of all, you can see a very important point here. The complexes which are electronically as well as coordinatively unsaturated complexes. Unsaturated complexes are necessary, right? Electronically unsaturated. Electronically. So what is the meaning of the electronically unsaturated? 16 electron complexes will generally give the beta hydride elimination reaction, and of course they must be also coordinatively unsaturated. Coordinatively. See, if coordinatively unsaturated means say the complexes which are having the coordination number of 3 and coordination number of 4, right? Coordination number 3, 4 and 5. These will generally give this reaction, while octahedral complexes are reluctant to undergo this particular species. However, see, you can see a very important point, like say you are having your palladium and say you are also having your platinum 2, right? So these transition metal alkyl complexes, they are the exception types. If they are electronically unsaturated, coordinatively unsaturated, and also having the beta hydrogen, so that means they will not undergo this beta hydrogen elimination reaction. They are the exceptions one. They actually do not like to actually have the 18 electron configuration. They love 16 electron configuration. You can see in the Vasquez complex, right? All these examples you have already seen. So you should remember this particular point. Okay, then the second point, which is another very important aspect, presence of beta hydrogen. Beta hydrogen is must. Beta hydrogen is must. Presence of beta hydrogen is must. That means only those complexes which will have the beta hydrogen, they will undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. See guys, however, it is not possible that the compound is always having beta hydrogen and that will also undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. Sometimes it will not happen actually. So this is something very, very important to note that, right? And see what actually for example, say 18 electron is, sometimes you can see here the 18 electron complexes. See, I have already told you the presence of the beta hydrogen is must. Okay, so sometimes you can see presence of beta. See, what I told you. Say for example, uh, you are having this complex CP CO whole twice Fe CH2 CH3. Okay, so there is a possibility. What kind of possibility it is having? Say for example, what I am explaining, say this is 18 electron species. So first of all, the thing which will come into your mind that okay, it is 18 electron species, so it will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. But see, this can happen. This complex may actually lose one one ligand, and to attain the unsaturation, so that it can have the vacant site, and that this vacant site can actually facilitate this beta hydride elimination reaction. This can happen. See, in instead of 16 electron species, your 18 electron species would also undergo beta hydride elimination reaction, but they will do only by removing one of the ligand, right, to attain the vacant site. Only then it can undergo. But this compound cannot, as this is 18 electron species, and this cannot actually form your unsaturated species. That means it will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. What is the reason? See, this CP is a very bad leaving group. When it is bad leaving group, so it will not form the electronically unsaturated or coordinatively unsaturated complex. Similarly, this CO is also a very bad leaving group, though it is having C alpha and beta carbon. So it is something very important to note that 18 electron species would undergo beta hydride elimination reaction only when they have a very good leaving group, so that it can attain a electronically or coordinatively unsaturated mode. Only then it will undergo. However, when they are not having the group which are good leaving groups, so they will not undergo. Okay, so this is something very, very important. And see, there are various examples you can see here. If you are having this CpCO whole thrice, and this is the molybdenum complex, right? Et stands for the CH2 CH3, like I have written here. Again, this Cp and Co, they are not a very good leaving group, so it will not undergo this kind of the reaction. And say you are having another complex, chromium H2O, and you are having this ethyl again is CH2CH3, and say 2 positive over there. So again, you see, this is not a very good leaving group, so it is a bad Lg, so it will also not do this kind of the reaction. Similarly, you can have, say, your cyclopentadienyl, right, your carbonyl, then you are having iridium complex, and this is CH, and here you are having the CH3, here also you are having the CH3. So this is your beta position, this is your beta position. But again, this Cp and Co, they are not a very good leaving group, and they all are the 18 electron species. This is also the 18 electron species, this is also the 18 electron species, this is also the 18 electron species, right? So see, I am not actually going to count the electrons of all of them. It is up to you. right? I have explained these things in my earlier lecture. So if you don't know how to calculate the electrons, so you can go through my organometallic lecture series. In that in this series you will find all the answers, right? And various complexes, guys. Say you may have this DMG, right, dimethyl glyoxime, as your ligand. So, it is present twice. And say your ethyl is there, your H2O is there, right? Say you are having this complex. So this DMG is a very bad leaving group. This H2O is a very bad leaving group. So it is having 18 electron complex. So they will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reactions. Okay, but if any one of the ligand is a good leaving group, then obviously they will undergo your beta hydride elimination reaction. So if you don't know how to decide which actually ligand is behaving as will behave as the good leaving group or not good leaving group, I'll make a separate lecture on the leaving ability of the group. Right now you can understand in that manner also. So these are the features, right? And then number 4, no change in the oxidation state. Delta OS, the delta change OS oxidation state would be 0. So this is important, okay? And number 5, electron count will increase by 2 units. This is another feature, okay? And you can see these are the some of the important point. And number 5, you can see hepaticity. That means eta 1 changes to eta 2. This I have already told you. See, whenever this beta hydrogen elimination reaction occur, alkene would be there as the product. So if alkene is still connected to the metal, then the hepaticity changes from eta 1 to eta 2. Okay, and another important point, which is rather important, guys, right? Steric hindrance. Steric hindrance. So what is the meaning of that? Say you are having say this is your beta carbon, and it is having this hydrogen as beta hydrogen, and this is more sterically hindered. Like I can put propyl here, I can put propyl here. So when the steric hindrance would be more, then it will prevent the beta hydrogen elimination reaction to occur. So it is something very important reaction. See, if you are 16 electron complex having the beta carbon and also having the very bulky groups around it, so your beta hydrogen elimination reaction would not occur. And when the reaction would not occur, you will say that your complex is thermodynamically more stable. This is something very important. And number 7, you can see here, transition metal complexes, transition metal organometallic complexes which are having D2 configuration or higher configuration, right? Higher configuration. So what is the meaning of that? Your transition metal will have the 2 electrons in the D orbital, or the higher number of the electrons in the D orbitals. Actually they facile agostic interaction. They facile agostic interaction, and actually they stabilize 4-membered transition states. Thus they are very good at beta hydrogen elimination reaction. So this is another important point. Metals which are having the d electrons, 2 or more than 2, they actually facile the agostic interaction which will stabilize the 4-member transition state, and these are very good in doing your beta hydride elimination reaction. Say for example you are having transition metal complex, you are having organometallic compounds OMC of main group elements. So they will not have any d electrons. Right? Or say when they will not have the d electrons, so it cannot actually facile the agostic interaction to occur. That means it will not see such complexes. In such complexes, the metal will not stabilize the 4-member transition state. So in that case, the beta hydrogen elimination reaction would occur very slowly. Very slow beta hydride elimination reaction This is something very, very important, guys. Okay. And similarly, if you are say transition metal complex is there, TMC, and it is having the D0 configuration, that means no electrons in the D orbital, again the same thing will happen. The reaction either would not occur, or if it occurs, then it will occur very, very slowly, right? And one more thing you can see here, number 8 point, agostic interaction is the key. Agostic interaction is the key. Okay, and when the agostic interaction is the key, that means your metal and beta hydrogen must have cis or syncoplanarity. That means your beta hydrogen and your metal must have the cis relationship. This is something very, very important to note that. Okay, and number 9, complexes which will not undergo the beta hydrogen elimination reaction would be more thermodynamically stable. That means no beta hydride elimination reaction for complexes greater their stability. A very, very important point, right? And sometimes you can see here, if you have your alkoxide complexes, so I am not going to give you the example for this one, but you can remember this point. And say if you are having the amine complexes, amine transition metal complexes, they will also do beta hydride elimination reaction, and in that case aldehyde and imine would be the product. So it is quite obvious. See, if you are having OCH3, guys, right? OCH2CH3. So this is where alpha, this is where beta, this will remove the hydrogen, okay? And obviously you will have carbon double bond oxygen then. So aldehyde would form. Similarly, if you have amine, then nitrogen double bond and other groups would be there, they present. So imine and aldehyde would form if you are having this type of complexes. So these are the few important things which you have to keep in mind while deciding your beta hydrogen elimination reaction. And see, a very important point actually I am missing here. Say you are having the possibility of happening two reactions. First is reductive elimination. I have made an exclusive video on the reductive elimination reactions. You can go there to search. And also say beta hydride elimination reaction. Both possibility if exist. That means you are having the complex which is satisfying the conditions which can undergo reductive elimination and which can undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. Then which reaction would occur? So the simplest answer is that when metal is in high oxidation state, this I have already told you, then it will undergo your reductive elimination. And if it is in low oxidation state, elimination reaction. How we can explain this? See, when the metal would be in the low oxidation state, just like that, you can see here. Say if it is in low oxidation state, that means it will have the D electrons, and these D electrons would involved in the agostic interaction, and the reaction would occur because it will still stabilize the four-member transition state, right? And if it is having the higher oxidation state, that means the d orbitals will not have those electrons, and agostic interaction would not be very, very facile. So high oxidation state will not prefer the beta hydride elimination reaction, but it will prefer the reductive elimination reaction. So this is something very, very important. So stereochemical environment I also told you, and all the things I also told you. And now the some of the important aspect. Say after that we will solve the examples, the questions from the previous year CSIR net questions also, right? We'll do those part also. Say for example, you have given this complex, for example, you are having this complex, titanium in the center and two chlorines placed trans to each other, and say it is having P, two methyls are there, this is P, two methyls are over there, and they are forming 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 membered ring. And then you are having say CH2 and CH3. So I can write CH and H. Okay, say in this way you are having. So obviously the oxidation state of titanium you can count here. 1, 2 and 3, 3 plus. So it will not undergo your beta hydride elimination reaction. Though it is having the, it is actually having the beta hydrogen as well as it is unsaturated complex, but it is in high oxidation state. See, in that case the oxidation state is what? I think it is 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 or 4 you can check, right? So a higher oxidation state is there. See, it is 4 positive. Okay, it is 4 positive oxidation state. Okay, and when the oxidation state is 4 positive, that means it will having the D0 configuration, the point which I have explained. See, titanium is what? Titanium is 22 when it loses 4 electrons, right? So it will form Ti4 positive. That means total electrons would be 18. So it's a D0 configuration. Okay, because this hydrogen is also involved in the agostic interactions. Now it will clear 1, 2, 3 and 4. One group, second group, third group and the fourth group. So oxidation state is 4, and such actually complexes are known as the agostic alkyls. Agostic alkyl complexes. Agostic alkyl complexes. Okay, so they will actually not undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction because it is D0. So whatever I have explained in the last slide actually, right? Say here I have written, I think, yeah, D0, right? So they are actually the agostic alkyl complexes. Now we will go for the questions of the previous year CSIR net examination. So one by one I will take the different question, different aspects. So before going into the details of those questions, I want to explain certain things here, right? And those things are what? See, I can write those things in the key itself. I can write those things in the key itself and say number 12, beta carbon if sp2 and sp hybridized, right, then no beta hydride elimination reaction would occur. This is a very important point. Okay, now we can do the sum of the problems. Say you are having the complex number 1 in which your iron is there and your carbon is connected here, and this is your cyclopentadienyl, right? And here you are having CH, this is double bond C, this is hydrogen, say this is one complex. Okay, obviously you can see here metal connected, carbon directly connected with the metal would be alpha and this would be beta. So these two are the beta hydrogens, but this is sp2 carbon, and since the sp2 carbon is there, the bond angle is 120 degree, and this iron and the beta hydrogen cannot form and cannot have the proper cis coplanarity or syn coplanarity, so there would not occur any agostic interaction and it will not give beta hydride elimination reaction, and it is thermodynamically stable. Thermostable or thermodynamically stable. Okay, stable. Now if you have say complex number 2, I can write in that manner. Say you are having Fe, Cp, OC, just like that. Okay, and you are having CH, CH3, CH3. So this is quite fine now. See, this is your alpha, this is your beta, this is your beta, and you can see here this metal and the hydrogen present over there like CH2 and H, they agostically interact. So it will undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction. This is thermodynamically unstable. Thermodynamically unstable because it will undergo the reaction. Okay, and one more example you can write. Say same. You see, I am having the same complex, but I am changing the ligands, right? I am not doing any special things. I am only changing the ligands. Iron connected with the Cp, connected with the Co, and then you have silicon, right? So this is CH3, this is CH3, this is CH3, and you know, after carbon, you see carbon is 6, and then here silicon is there, that is 14. So they belongs to the same group. So obviously this is your alpha, this will be your beta. But silicon is there. See, if you do the beta hydride elimination reaction in that case, say for example, if you remove this from here, so what situation you can have? You can have Fe, you can have Cp, you can have CO over there. Now if one hydrogen would eliminate, it will come here, and this iron has to make a double bond just like that with CH2, right? And then your silicon, which is having just like that CH3, CH3. This has to do in that manner. So 1 2 3 4 5. So carbon actually is increasing its valency. So such kind of interaction will not occur. So other than carbon, if other elements are there, again no beta hydride elimination reaction would occur, and they are thermodynamically more stable. Okay, and last example which we can take here, say I am having complex number 4, and in this complex what change I can make? Okay, I can give CO, FeCp, carbon, triple bond carbon, and hydrogen. Okay, say I am having this complex. So this is alpha, this is beta, so this is beta hydrogen, but bond angle is what? 180 degree, because this beta carbon is sp hybridized. So they are very far. So they see this hydrogen and metal, they are actually trans to each other. So there is no question of cis coplanarity. So again it will not undergo your beta hydride elimination reaction, so it would be thermodynamically stable. So among the 4 complexes, this is unstable because it will undergo this reaction, beta hydride elimination reaction, while they will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reactions. And one more important thing, important point, okay, this one. So you can take the examples here. Violation of the Bret's rule. Violation of the Bret's rule. B-R-E-D-T-H, Bret's rule. So if you know what Bret's rule state that, Bret's rule state that if you are forming the cyclic alkene or the bicycloalkenes, that means in that case you can not put your sp2 carbon on the bridgehead position. Said no sp2 carbon on bridgehead positions. That means no double bond on the bridgehead position. Now I am giving you the sum of the examples. Say for example, you are having this complex Ln M, okay, and just like that, say you are having this one. See, this is your alpha carbon, this is your beta carbon, this is your beta carbon. So if you do the beta hydride elimination reaction, what product you can expect? Ln, metal will have the hydrogen, ligands, metal will have the hydrogens, and then you are having this species just like that. If you remove this hydrogen, that means you have to put double bond here. And if you remove, say, Ln, MH, If you remove this hydrogen, then you have to put the double bond here. So this is the bridgehead position, this is the bridgehead position, and it is not good because it is the violation of the Brett's rule. So in the bridgehead position we cannot put the double bond or the sp2 carbon. So this will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction and it would be thermodynamically more stable, right? And this is not the only example. You can take various examples, right? Say I am having what I can make here. Okay, say example number 2, I am having this complex, right? Norbornene, here in that case norbornene metal complexes. I am putting the metal here. Okay, so you can see here this is the metal, this is directly connected carbon. So I can mark this carbon as alpha. Okay, and then I am having my beta carbon here and beta carbon over there, and also the beta carbon over here. It is having 2 hydrogen. This is also having the 2 hydrogens, and this one is also having the 2 hydrogens. So 6 beta hydrogens are there. But if you remove this hydrogen, say for example, if you remove this hydrogen, so you will put double bond here. Okay, and this will go there. So it is not better to actually write here. I can draw a separate diagram for you, just like that, right here, and in that case you are having the metal and the hydrogen. So again the double bond at the bridgehead position. If you remove this hydrogen, again you will put the double bond here. If you remove this hydrogen, then you will put the double bond here. In all the cases we are putting the double bond at the bridgehead positions. So these compounds like your norbornene metal complexes and your adamantane metal complexes, whenever you put your double bond at the bridgehead position, so such reaction would not occur. And when such reaction would not occur, then you will say your compound is thermodynamically more stable. So this is something very, very important which you will keep in mind. Okay guys, now I can move further. Say a very tricky question I am going to explain here. So I can write tricky question. Tricky question. Very important. Okay. Say you are having this platinum over there and it is connected with the 4-membered ring, and here you are having triphenyl phosphine. Twice it is present here. And second complex, say you are having platinum, 5-membered ring this time, and rest part is same, your triphenyl phosphine twice, right? So these are the 2 complexes. Okay, and in that case you can see platinum is having D10 configuration, and it is also having the D10 configuration because it belongs to the nickel family. Ni, see Nirash Pada PTI. This is my trick which I have made to learn these transition metal complexes. In case you haven't seen that trick, so you can type in the search bar mnemonics by tetrahedron chemistry classes and you will have this one. So it will contribute the 10 electron, so they will also contribute the 10 electron, so they are the D10 systems. And say this is platinum, and in that case you can see this is alpha carbon, this is your beta carbon, this is your alpha carbon. Similarly, this is alpha, this is alpha, this is beta, this is beta. Okay, now people actually explain these things in the number of ways, but I am going to give you a very simple trick. Whenever you see these complexes, so the complex which will having the more beta hydrogen, it will readily undergo beta hydrogen elimination reaction. Readily undergoes beta H elimination reaction if they have the more beta hydrogen, but it is having say less number of beta hydrogens. Only 2 beta hydrogens are there. Here 2 and 2 4 beta hydrogens are there, so it will readily undergo. So it is thermodynamically unstable. It is thermodynamically unstable while it is thermodynamically stable. While in organic chemistry you actually learn in that manner the 5-membered ring, which will the 5-membered ring will be more stable than the 4-membered ring, but in that case the reverse is happening here. So this is the trick which actually you will use whenever you actually you have to find the answer between the cyclic type of the complexes. And another explanation which is written on the book, or generally the people gave those explanation, whenever the see ring size is small, when the ring size is small, then this strain would be very high, and when the strain in the molecule would be high, then syn coplanar relationship would be very less, and when syn coplanar relationship would be very less, then no beta hydride elimination reaction would occur and your complex would be stable. And if your ring is 5-membered ring, or say having the 6-membered ring, so it will have the less strain. When the strain is less, then there is always a chance that the beta hydrogen and platinum would have some coplanarity with cis relationship, so they will undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction and they would be unstable. So these are the some important point which you have to keep in mind. Now the very important part, the questions from the CSIR net. Okay, so my first question is from CSIR net June 2011. Okay, say they have given you the different complexes. They have given you the complex number 1, titanium, CH2 and pH 4, and this part is present 4 times. So say they have given you this complex. Okay, and another complex they have given you titanium IPR 4 times. This IPR is actually your isopropyl group, and then they have given titanium tetraethyl, sorry, and then titanium tetramethyl, Me-methyl, Et-ethyl, IPR isopropyl, and this is your phenyl. So they have given you this complex and they have asked you arrange them in the order of their increasing stability, increasing thermodynamic stability. They have asked the question in that fashion. So to solve this particular question, how you can approach? See, don't bother about anything. Draw the complex first. Say for example, I am drawing this one. Say this is my titanium. Okay, and say this titanium is having methyl, methyl, and methyl. 4 methyls are there, say, and this is the first complex, right? And then say they have given you the complex second, titanium, say isopropyl. I'm drawing this one. So methyl, methyl, and these two are also methyl, and these two are also methyl, and these two are also methyl. Okay, and then they have given your third complex, this one, C2CH3, that is ethyl. Similarly, this one you can draw C2CH3 as ethyl. This is also CH2CH3. This is also CH2CH3. Okay, and last complex is this one. Say you can write titanium in the center and you can put CH2 and you can give this here. So this is another ligand, another same ligand rather, and this is CH2 and another same ligand, this is CH2 and the same ligand. See, these 4 complexes they have given. See, if I quickly number them, so I can write, say for example, say this is complex number 1, this is complex number 2, and okay, I missed this one. So this is complex number 3, this is complex number 4. These 4 complexes are given to you and you have to decide their stability. Okay guys, so first of all you can see in that case only methyl is there, no beta hydrogen. No beta hydrogen means thermodynamically stable. First thing, okay. This one, so this is alpha, this is beta, this is also beta. Similarly, this is beta, this is beta, this is another beta, this is another beta, this is another beta, this is another beta. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means total 24 beta hydrogens. See, one methyl is having CH3, so it will have the 24 beta hydrogens. And in that case, this is beta, this is beta, this is beta, this is beta. 4 beta methyls are there. That means 4 3 is 12. 12 beta hydrogens are here. In that case, this is alpha, 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 alpha. This is beta, this is beta, this is beta, this is beta. In that case also, no beta hydrogen. Now you know the complexes which will not have the beta hydrogen, they will not undergo the beta hydride elimination reaction and they would be thermodynamically more stable. So this is stable, this is also stable, this is unstable, this is also unstable. Now the question becomes quite tricky. If both are unstable, so how to decide which would be more unstable? Obviously, the complex which will have the higher number of beta hydrogens would be more unstable. Which will have the lesser number of the beta hydrogen, they would be less unstable. Now you have to arrange them. Very quickly you have to arrange them. So you can arrange in that manner. This having 12 beta hydrogens, so this would be quite unstable. When it is quite unstable, so compound number 1, they would be quite unstable. If I have written 1 over there. After that, this will also unstable because they will have 12 beta hydrogens and then you can come 2. Okay. Now you have to decide in between them which one would be less stable, which one would be more stable. Obviously, you can see here this involves here conjugation is also involved, right? And for you can see here 4 methyls, 4 CH2s are over there. So you can consider this case as little sterically hindered as well as conjugation is over there. So this would be actually this will not undergo any kind of the reaction, and this one also not having the beta hydrogen, but this is not so sterically hindered as well as there is no conjugation in that case, so it can undergo the alpha elimination kind of the reaction. Okay, but it cannot undergo. So you can arrange this in the third, right? So TiMe3, this is 3, and lastly you can put this compound 4. Okay, you can write either in that manner or you can write in that manner. 4 is most stable, followed by third, and then second, and then 1. So however, they have asked the question in the increasing order of their stability. So if they ask in the increasing order, so this is the correct answer. And in that case, I think option C was there. If you check the question, then the option C was the correct answer. So in that manner, you can solve this question. Okay, I think this is clear to you, right? So however, they have given in the option in that manner that your 3 and 4, this case actually decide the stability. There is no need to go further. And then we can go for another problem, and that problem they have asked in the CSIR net December 2011. Okay, and in that case they have given you the 2 complexes. Say complex A, they have given Me3 C CH2 4 times. There it is connected with the they are connected with the titanium. And then they have given you the complex B, and in that case what was that? Okay, so there is CH3 which is present twice. This is CH, and here you can see the CH2 again, they present 4 times, and your titanium is there, A and B. And they said they actually given the sum of the features there, and they said that this is more stable, and this is less stable. So you have to check the options, right? They have given you the various options there. That means they have given the hyperconjugation in A, first option. Second was no beta hydride elimination in A, and third they have give steric protection of titanium in A, and number 4 they have given strong titanium carbon bond. So you can quickly answer here, right? If you draw this one, so this titanium is connected with the alpha carbon, okay, and then this is your beta carbon, okay. See, valence is actually 4 because 3 alkyls are there. So if you may have the confusion, so you can write in that manner. Me and Me, this is your CH2 and this is your titanium, and these units would be present over there. 1 2 3 4 4 such units would be there. So this is your alpha carbon, this is your beta carbon, and beta carbon is not having any hydrogen. That means no beta hydride elimination reaction would occur, and your obvious answer is what? This one, right? So this is how you can solve this question. And then I'm coming back to the next question, and they have asked this question in CSIR net June 2015. So in that case they have given you the complex, say complex number A, they have drawn in that manner. This is metal, this is hydrogen they have drawn, and they have given you the complex B in that case. So this was your metal, and then they have given you the complex C, this is metal, just like that, this is hydrogen, and they have given you the complex 4, that is D, M, H, right? And they ask the question in which of the species beta hydride elimination reaction would occur, right? So it's quite obvious, you can write, see, this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon, and this beta carbon is sp2, no cis coplanar relationship, so it cannot give this beta hydride elimination reaction. Okay, similarly this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon in sp, so this and this, they are trans to each other, there is no cis coplanar reality, it will not undergo this reaction. And say this is your alpha carbon, this is your beta carbon is having hydrogen, and it is looking like that it can have the agostic interaction to form the compound. But if you do the agostic interaction in between them, so what will happen? Metal and hydrogen, because this hydrogen will shift over there, and then you are having CH2 double bond, CH2 C1 2 and third carbon. So not like that, like CH2. Okay, you can draw in that manner. So this is allene, this compound is allene, they are not very stable, so this reaction will also not occur. But this one is alpha carbon, this is your beta carbon, sp3 cis coplanar relationship, they interact agostically to form the to give that beta hydride elimination reaction. So your correct option would be A. Okay, so this is how you can solve the answers of the CSIR net also. Then you can see another reaction or another question which they have asked in June 2016. CSIR net June 2016. They have given you the reaction. In the center CO is there, then CP is there, here they have written the CD3, here also PME3 was there, in that case you have written the CD3, right? So you're having this question, and it is reacting with the alkenes. I can put this alkene over there, and they have given you the product already, that is CP, and PME3 is here, and your alkene part is there, and they have removed the CD3H and also A, and you have to find A. What is the species A here? So this question is, guys, very important and little difficult one also. So to solve such questions you have to apply certain things here. So focus on this particular complex, right? So it is having the coordination number of 4, right? It is looking like looking like little saturated, not so. So how it can undergo the reaction? Say you can draw solution I am giving you. Say you are having this cobalt, CP is over there, and you can write PME3, this is CD3, and this is another CD3. So in the first step dissociation would occur and your PME3 would release from here, and when the PME3 is released here, so you will have the CP over there, and of course your CD3 and your another CD3, and of course this is your vacant site. So I'm writing VC for this one, vacant site, or not VC, VS, vacant site. Okay, and when this vacant site is there, only then you can react with this alkene. So this alkene actually, this alkene which is present here, it will occupy this vacant site. Okay, and when it will occupy this vacant site, what you will have? Cobalt, this alkene, that means beta hydride elimination reaction. Okay, and after that, sorry, not this one, this is CP, and this is your CD3, this is your another CD3. Okay, say you are having this one, and after that you can see in this particular reaction, so it's a multi-step reaction. Actually it is not related to the beta hydride elimination reaction, but it's a multi-step reaction. So here you can see 1,2 migratory insertion reaction would occur, and that would occur intramolecularly. So how intramolecularly? Because you see these hydrogens are over there. Okay, and in that case you can see here what they will form. So this alkene actually would get inserted in between these, either of these two bonds, whether to this one or to this one. So you can write CO, CP over there, there is no problem in that, and then your CD3, and this alkene part will get inserted, say over there or over this particular bond, anywhere you can draw. Okay, so you will have this alkene, that means CH2 and another CH2, so I can write in that manner, and my CD3. Okay, and after that, because it has moved from here to here, so it will create another vacant site. Now you can see this cobalt and hydrogen having cis coplanar relationship, so they can interact agostically, and when they can interact agostically, obviously your beta hydride elimination would occur, and when your beta hydride elimination would occur, so what will happen? Cobalt in the center, no change, CP over there, no change, this CD3 is there, no change, and one of the hydrogen will shift over this carbon, and this will become a double bond. This will become a double bond, just like that. Okay, and this is your CD3, you can put CD3 over there, and this has to connect with this one. This is the basic concept of your beta hydride elimination reaction. Okay, and after that you can see your PME3 was there, it will attack here in that case, and this would be released, CD3, and then your compound would be just like that, your CO. Okay, and then your CP, then your PME3, and after that PME3, the double bond just like that, this will remove. So there is no need to go further, you have to look this one, right? And they have given the different options for A, and what options they have given? They have given, say, D2C double bond CD2, and they have given option to D3C single bond CD3, and C they have given this option, the CD3, and for D they have given CH2 CD2. So what you are looking, this one, option C is the correct answer. So this is the singly bonded compound, cannot possible, right? And 2 to 4 deuteriums are already there, and they haven't mentioned another deuterium, so this is not possible. So only this way you can solve. However, this question is not very easy, you have to learn a lot to solve such kind of the questions, okay? And then after that, my next question, that is CSIR NET 2019. I think in the Assam, see, if you remember that in the Northeast, actually the paper actually had postponed in 2019, and they the examination will occur see later on, and in that exam they ask a particular question, right? And they have given you the 4 complexes. What 4 complexes they have given? They have given the complex number 1, say this one, TiCl2 CH2 CMe3, is present twice. This was your first complex. Complex B, they have given you this one, and they have connected titanium over there, and these units were present 4 times. And they have given you the last option, they have given you the eta 5 CP ring, and it is present twice, and it attached with the tantalum, and then your CH2 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 CH3, and this unit actually present thrice. And they have asked which complex will not release alkene. Remember, which complex or which complexes will not release alkene as the byproduct. They have given you the options also. They have given A, they have given you A and B, and third they have given you A and C, and then fourth they have given you B comma C, right? And you know the complexes which will not undergo beta hydride elimination reaction, they will actually not give alkene as the byproduct. So in that case you can see this cannot undergo beta hydride elimination reaction because it is the violation of the Braid's rule, as I have explained earlier, right? So that means it will not give alkene, because it will not undergo beta hydride elimination reaction due to the violation of the Braid's rule. Okay, so option B is there, and here you can see the only one option is given, so you can cross it all, right? And then B is not there in this particular option, so you can eliminate this one. So your correct answer either this one or this one, right? So now you can go for the A. You can see A. If you draw the structure of the A, you can see this titanium and say 2 chlorines you have placed just like that. Then your CH2, and these are the 3 methyl you can put over there, and this is CH2, and with this carbon you can put 3 methyls over there, Me, and Me. This is alpha, this is beta, this is alpha, this is beta. It is not having any beta hydrogen, so it will also not undergo beta hydride elimination. No BHE, so no alkene released, in that case. So A is also it will also not give alkene, as the byproduct. So A and B, and in the option A and B. So this is the correct answer, right? And if you see this particular one, right, tantalum, if you find this Ta, right? So this Ta actually C, it is having the beta hydrogen, right? You can see it is having the beta hydrogen, right? And this C, okay, this is alpha, this is beta, 3 times present, so it can give or not. A and C, let me check what is happening here. Okay, no problem. It is having the beta hydrogen, say alpha and beta. So it will undergo beta hydride elimination reaction and it will give the alkene as the byproduct, right? So your correct option is this one, because they have asked which will not produce your alkene as the byproduct. So A and B your answer, while C will produce. Okay, so this is how you can solve. And then we can go for another problem, and this time I'll take the problem from GATE 2016 problem. Okay, this they have given the different complexes and they ask the which one is more thermodynamically unstable. Find thermodynamically unstable complex. Okay, and they have given you the different options. A, platinum, it is connected with the CH2 and CH2, carbon and carbon, all the 3 carbons having the 3 different groups. Okay, then phosphorus, then pH3, then pH3, triphenyl phosphine. This was the first complex they have given, and then they have given the second complex. I can write B, PT, and 5-membered ring is over there, and this is where PPH3. This is also PPH3. Okay, 2 complexes. Third complex they have given platinum, and here CH2, 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 CH3, and same part is also attached here. CH2, 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 CH3, and here PPH3. Here also PPH3. And last option they have given platinum, carbon, triple bond carbon and hydrogen, carbon, triple bond carbon and hydrogen, and then here PPH3, and then PH3. Okay, they have given, and they asked which one is thermodynamically unstable. So obviously see this now, if you go for the option 1, this is beta, this is beta, and beta carbon is not having any hydrogen, so no beta hydride elimination reaction. And when no beta hydride elimination reaction, that means it is stable. Okay, this is the 5-membered ring, and it is not good to break this 5-membered ring to actually do this beta hydride elimination reaction. So in that case, again, no beta hydride elimination reaction. Remember, you are not comparing 2 different cyclic complexes, but you have given only one option, so it will not undergo beta hydride elimination reaction as cyclic compounds. It is not actually good to break this chelation from here. And you can see this is beta, this is beta. So although both are having hydrogen, but this is sp carbon, so these are trans platinum is placed to trans to this one, and no cis coplanar reality, so this will actually not undergo in the reaction, so it's a stable one. And now this is alpha, this is beta, this is alpha, this is beta, 2 beta hydrogen, 2 beta hydrogen, sp3 carbon, cis coplanar reactivity, it will undergo beta hydride elimination reaction. That's why it is unstable. So C is most unstable, or C is unstable. So option C is the correct answer in that case. This is how you can solve. Now the last question from the same examination, or so from the GATE examination, right? Last question, and then I'll conclude this part. Say this is GATE 2018 problem, right? They have given you the bond angle between titanium, carbon and carbon, in the crystal structure of, and that crystal structure was CH3 whole twice with P, then CH2 whole twice this, then P, and then CH3 whole twice. This is the ligand part, and 3 Cl3 were there. Cl3 were there, okay. And then they have given you the titanium, and then they have given you the CH2, and then they have given you the CH2 in that manner. So clearly you can see they can undergo agostic interaction, and they have actually drawn given this structure, and they have asked the question, the bond angle in this in the given crystal structure between titanium, carbon and carbon is severely distorted, due to, and they have given you the 4 options. Option number A was, it was saying that H bonding. So there is no concept of the hydrogen bonding, because for hydrogen bonding you have to have the polar bond, quite polar bond. So hydrogen bonding cannot occur, so A cannot be your answer. B, they have given you the agostic interaction. Yes, of course, agostic interactions are there because beta hydrogen are there. So B is the correct answer. And third option, they have given the steric of phosphine. And you know the phosphine is not that steric. Okay, so this cannot be your answer. And last, they have given the higher formal charge over titanium. But the most correct answer is what? Your agostic interaction. So these are the some of the problems of CSIR NET as well as the GATE examination. I have completed the important reactions of your organometallic compounds. However, I have actually left with the one ligand substitution reaction. So in the next example, I will solve the multi-steps reactions in the organometallic compounds, which includes all the concepts of your oxidative addition, reductive elimination, migratory, different kinds of the migratory insertions, ligand substitution, and your beta hydride elimination reaction. And based on this, I will solve the problems, and these problems are generally comes in the examination questions, and the value for those such questions are like say 4 marker questions. I will solve those questions. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much. Hello guys, I am Dr. Devendra Mishra, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Bidla Institute of Applied Sciences, right? Also running this tetrahedron chemistry classes channel, and here are the links available to